Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and after a wild card weekend, if you will, it is time to turn our focus towards the divisional round games, and in this video we are going to be previewing the two Saturday games, which are the San Francisco 49ers against the Minnesota Vikings. That's the 3:35 game, and then that will be followed by Tennessee at Baltimore in the later game that night. So two good ones. So anyone, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I'd like to start off by saying this is our first time back in a while. We did have a break. We went on our own separate vacations, and we figured, well, first of all, we wouldn't be together, and it'd be too hard to film stuff in advance just because...
Especially for playoffs coming up.
Especially for the week that we just had, first of all, because that was crazy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit. So we are back, and it was...
better than ever, as you can see. New tablecloth, thanks to my dad.
I was about to say that.
And the lights.
So we have the new tablecloth, and then you probably can tell if you've watched past videos. We have the lights.
Yep.
So hopefully our faces look more bright. We got some nice Christmas presents to help this great touchdown table. But now let's get to what we do best. Let's talk football.
All right, and I'll start it off with the first game on Saturday. The Minnesota Vikings going into Levi Stadium and playing the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if this was, once again, I could say these for a lot of games, but if this was a week ago, I'd say, no, this game's not going to happen. No way the Vikings can go into the Superdome and win.
Saying.
And they did just that in overtime. Kirk Cousins finally won himself a big game, and everyone liked that, unless you're a Saints fan or just wanted the Saints to win like Jordan did.
Yeah.
Well... some of you, if you watch past videos, have always been hating on the Vikings, and I'll tell you right now, that's not going to stop. So
they just beat the Saints in the Superdome. Give them some credit.
It's one of the toughest places to play.
You like that?
Yeah, there you go.
You like that?
I like this new setup here.
Yeah, there you go.
I do like that.
And Kirk Cousins' play on Sunday.
I'd just like to say that Kirk Cousins, he made one good throw in overtime. He played mediocre the rest of the game. Dalvin Cook.
He had a 92 QBR rating. That's not that bad.
92 is average. It's not great. Anyways,
I think it was 92.
So Dalvin Cook and that offensive line carried them,
wrong.
and Drew Brees did not have his best game. Now that is credit to the defense a little bit, but he still did not play his best game. So the Saints should have won that game, but they didn't. And
the better team lost.
It was an extension of the arm.
So.
I've seen worse that weren't called.
Yeah, well, the Saints have seen worse that weren't called.
Exactly, but yeah. But yeah, honestly, I think that Kirk Cousins, he really proved a lot of doubters wrong. I was happy for him, and I know you just put on display a perfect example of being salty that a division rival is making a playoff run. But you're free to say whatever you want. That's what we do on this channel.
I'm not here to be biased. I'm just here to tell you what's going on, and I can tell you the Vikings played really good in that game.
And I've liked Minnesota for as long as this channel has existed, and
you mean
even
Cooks?
What?
The Dalvin Cooks played really well. You're right.
Yeah, and I even picked New Orleans. I actually came close to picking Minnesota, but I went with New Orleans because I trusted Drew Brees in that stadium, and they were even better than I expected. Honestly, I think despite this being a 1 versus 6 seed matchup, I think this is going to be a really close game because if Minnesota can go in there and beat New Orleans, I think that shows that Minnesota could play close with literally anyone in the league. At least that's what the impression that they gave me from their performance.
Let's keep in mind that there is also another team and a very good team playing in this game in the 49ers.
Number 1 seed.
Which we haven't got to the number 1 seed.
The thing is, I don't need to talk about them because I'm just going to choose the Vikings to lose no matter what.
Yeah, well, that's just because we know how you feel about the Vikings. Yeah. But there is another team, the 49ers. We know what they have done all season long, and it seemed like the Vikings last week defensively, they were able to stop DeAndre Hopkins. Now they have lots of very good wide receivers going against them. And
I think you meant Michael Thomas.
Oh, who did I say?
You said DeAndre.
You said DeAndre Hopkins.
He just pulled me.
I was going Saturday last
after this break. We
Michael Thomas.
Spots and saying stuff.
Michael Thomas. But now they have more guys like Emmanuel Sanders, like George Kittle, guys that
they still had him before, but
yeah, but they're going against them now. The Vikings are, and it's going to be a lot tougher for them to do. I do think they're going to be able to hold their ground. You said 1 versus 6 seed. Mm-hmm. Both 49ers offense and defense just so good though. I can't see a scenario where Minnesota gets another upset.
Yeah, and I think a key thing to point out here is that San Francisco has the 4th ranked offense in the league according to the NFL app, and considering it's the NFL app, I think it's a pretty trustworthy source if you ask me.
So. I would say.
But I don't think you get any more trustworthy. But I think that goes to show that a lot of that is from their committee of running backs. So I just think it's going to be fun to watch who gets the edge in the ground game? Is it the 49ers that just ground and pound with these guys, rotate them in and out, Coleman, Mostert, those guys?
Or is it them or the Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, or is it the Vikings? Is Dalvin Cook?
The Cooks?
There's no S. Is Dalvin?
You gotta give everyone credit, Jordan, on the Vikings side of the football.
But is Dalvin Cook able to have another big performance against that 49ers D-line that has been so good all year? That's the storyline to watch. The battle of the rushing attacks.
So you just said is their team going to have a good game?
Both 6 seeds might have the 2 hottest running backs in the league right now.
Right now, if the Vikings do lose this game, I'm just going to get majorly roasted for everything I'm saying. It's okay that's on record because I don't care. So.
Yeah. Anyone got anything else to say?
Are we making our picks?
Yeah, let's make our picks really quickly.
All right,
and these will also be on the Instagram if you want to see them at the touchdown table. Jordan, you start. We know who you're going to pick. If you want to give a score prediction, go ahead. You don't have to.
I don't have a score prediction. Mine.
All right.
All I know is that
make a pick then.
The Vikings will lose. I don't care who they're playing against. They're going to lose. Always. Throughout the rest of the playoffs if they make it past this.
Well, as I said, I've been
Which
high.
they won't.
I've been high on. Okay, you done?
I think so.
Yeah, we never really know.
Sorry. This is what I'll be talking a lot about. So.
Yeah.
I'm a little angry still.
We could tell.
Yeah.
But
the Saints are my 2 team.
Yeah.
As I've said, I've been high on these Minnesota Vikings for as long. No, really, I have been. You go back, watch our prediction videos. I picked them to win the division and go to the NFC Championship. I am picking San Francisco here. However, you look at San Francisco, you think, oh, they're the 1 seed. They must have been dominant all year. Sure, they have that great 13-3 record, but they've had a lot of close calls. That Seattle game. The Rams game. It was a couple days before Christmas. It was on a Saturday. That game came down to the wire. They've lost some games on the final plays. Honestly, the Saints game, that just came out of who had the ball last. So they're not always dominant. They've had some close games. They struggled with Arizona that one time at home as well. So they're not dominant. So I think Minnesota's able to keep this game close. But ultimately, I'm gonna give a score pick. I think San Francisco takes it 24-23, but it's gonna be closer than I think a lot of people expect.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. You look at, like you said, a 1 and a 6 seed. You think the 1 seed would dominate, but both of these teams, actually, funny enough, ironically enough,
that's funny.
Both went into the Superdome and won a game.
Ironic.
One of the only teams this season to do that, and they're playing against each other.
Did the Falcons do that
in the divisional round? I think that was in the Superdome.
Yeah, that was in the Superdome.
So Falcons not even in the playoffs, but that's a different story. Vikings, I think, an underrated team.
Good at the end of the season.
In the playoffs, all you gotta do is go on a run. It doesn't matter what happened the rest of the season, as long as you're in the playoffs. That being said, I do think the 49ers are the better team. Therefore, they will win by a slim margin, slimmer than you may think. But 49ers win. Okay, next game. Hey, look at this. Another 1 versus 6 seed. The Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans.
Okay. I lied about the Vikings one. I will talk a little more about this one because it involves, I'm going to say it, they were my Super Bowl pick. If you watch current videos, you would know that because I say that in all of our pick videos. And anytime the Patriots name was brought up and they failed me, and I had Patriots, Saints, Super Bowl. It's done now, and I don't want any team to win the Super Bowl anymore. So it's great.
You don't want any team to win. You just don't want anyone to show up to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
I think the Bears will just go in and they'll win.
Yeah, right? they'll just show up.
Don't worry. I can jump on the Texans bandwagon.
There you go.
Well, I think Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, he put it very well before the game and after the game. He said the Patriots were the Terminator. Whenever we thought they were dead, they were never actually dead. And he wasn't going to pick against them until he knew they were actually dead. And the Tennessee Titans went into Foxborough and made sure they were dead. And that was a big part of that was because of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry had 204 yards total. And I think the offense had 272 yards. I'm not looking at stats, but he had like 75% of the offense in that entire game, which is absolutely incredible. You go to the other side also, they have a huge run game with their quarterback as well, Lamar Jackson, the soon-to-be MVP.
Yep.
This is also going to be another close game.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump on that real quick. You were talking about the run game, and this is the only time I will give the Vikings credit is that they have a really good run game. But
we talked about the Vikings.
We're on the next game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about the run game.
Yeah,
so
a lot of good
I was talking about run game in general, and in our age right now, it seems like passing is becoming more and more, like, everyone likes passing more, and honestly, if I see 2 runs in a row, I sometimes get really aggravated unless you have a really good running back. So this is becoming more of a passing league, but these running teams are having a lot of success right now. Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, the whole offense of the Baltimore Ravens, who just likes to run. The 49ers are a good run. I mean, there's a lot of teams right now, it becomes really important in the playoffs because you could wear down the other team, and you could run time off the clock and win games. So that's very important in the playoffs. So that's the only reason why I think the Vikings will be able to do anything. But these two teams are both very good. Titans, don't count them out. They're playing a very good team, and I would not be surprised if they compete very well.
Yeah, I think Tennessee is a team that you look at and you say, okay, yeah, they're a 6 seed, but I think this is a team that could at least play close with absolutely every team that's still left in the playoff picture right now, just because of the way that they've gotten hot at the right time. Ever since Ryan Tannehill took the helm down there in Tennessee, they've looked like a completely different team. And I liked how we talked about the rushing attacks a lot, because this game features the #1 rushing team in Baltimore hosting the #3 rushing team in Tennessee. So obviously, Mark Ingram had that injury scare in Week 17. I'd like to think, but
big trust.
Yeah, do they have the big trust factor?
They do.
I just think honestly, this is going to be the Titans' first time facing Lamar Jackson this year, and I just don't know if they'll be able to stop him. I think that they'll be able to keep it competitive because of Derrick Henry, but with how good Baltimore's been playing on both sides of the ball, and with them being both the most dominant team, in my opinion at least, I think their record proves it, with them being the most dominant team in the league for pretty much most of the year, at least from October on. Say they stop Derrick Henry, what's Tennessee's alternative? Or even somewhat contain Derrick Henry. You're not going to beat a team this good with just one player. So I think Tennessee's going to have to expand the playbook if they want to pull off this upset. But I think it's possible. And should I give my score pick? Want to do picks?
I'm going to say just a couple more things quickly.
Right.
Last year, you look at what the Ravens did in the playoffs last year, and they were just not good. They weren't as good as they were this year. Granted, they still played bad. So they have experience now a little bit. Lamar Jackson has a little bit of playoff experience under his belt. So we'll see what he's able to do with that now, having the experience. Also, you go out wider on the field. Look at the wide receivers. You have A.J. Brown and Marquise Brown, two rookies. Both with the same last name.
I got them flip-flopped in my mock draft in case you wanted to know.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well. We didn't talk much about the defense. Baltimore's defense has been outstanding throughout the last stretch of the season. In Tennessee, over time, slowly getting better, and they played very well in their stretch of winning towards the end of the season. I think that continues. Jordan, you can say one more thing before we make our pick.
Yeah, and I just you look at the Ravens and you think about the offense, you think about Lamar Jackson, you think about that great running game, all the points put up, but they have a really good defense as well. And you go and look at, they have so many Pro Bowl players, and a lot of them, they're the offense. They have Mark Ingram, Lamar Jackson, obviously, and then Mark Andrews, who are like the skill positions in offense, who everyone knows. They have a few offensive linemen, I think, but then
yeah, they do.
I think there's 10 or 11 of the players, and there's a lot of them on defense.
I think they have 13
Udon,
Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, 13 is great. There's Udon, there's Peters, and I know I'm missing some too. So they do have a really good defensive team, so I think that's going to be a huge factor. And you look at the Ravens, like I said before, you think about, it's just the truth. You think about the offense, because the offense has been so good. It's been so dominant. They have the MVP. It better be him.
It will be. It will be.
So just that defense is very good, so just watch out for them. I would not be surprised if they make some good plays.
Stick with you. You make your pick, and we'll go down the table.
All right. Well, I just think Baltimore is too dominant all over. I think they have a pretty rounded team, and they just had some rest. Baltimore will win.
You mentioned, Jordan, how dominant Baltimore has been on the offensive side, and it's not only that they're being dominant, it's that they're doing it in a way that the league has never seen before, and that's why, since it's the first year that they've been doing this for the full length of the season, I think that's why they've been so dominant, why defenses have had such a difficult time trying to stop them. I am picking Baltimore, but I just want to give a shout-out to Tennessee and Mike Vrabel. They've really impressed me. I picked them to be one of the worst teams in the league, and they're one of the final 8 standing. I think their run ends here. They'll keep it close for the most of the game, but Baltimore takes it 34-23.
I think you go back to the beginning of the season, I had them going 2-14.
I think I had a little better, but yeah, they surprised me this year.
No, it's incredible to see what they've done once Ryan Tannehill took over. But I unfortunately do think it ends here. I would love to see this team continue to go on in the playoffs and beat a team like the Ravens. Yeah. I do think this game is going to be close. They're going to give the Ravens a run for their money.
They will.
But Lamar Jackson and this team haven't lost since, what's the date? Do you know the date?
I think it's September 29th.
I think it's something like that. It's been a while. I think they won't lose this game. They'll head on to the AFC Championship game.
You don't my dates. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and comment your opinions on the games down below. Give us your game picks We'd love to see comments down below, so please, please, please do it. And with that,
Do it.
we'll see you guys
I thought
later.
you were gonna say that.
See
See ya.
ya.